Hello, it's Nicole with another in-studio yap. It's been a minute since we've been yapping, but there's a couple things to cover. And so let's talk about the fact that Kelsea Ballerini dropped a brand new song, I Sit in Parks, and it's so good. Now, we all know that her and Chase Stokes supposedly broke up, but then there was rumors that they actually got back together because, and I think this is pretty common when, people date a long time and people are in like different phases in their life, and then they break up and then they try to work it out and then they get back together. And it kind of seems like that's the case with them. So they broke up and then they stopped following each other. It seemed like kind of contentious, but then he was spotted in Nashville and then she was spotted FaceTiming him. So then she just released a brand new song, and it's basically about, is she in the right place? Is she not doing what she's supposed to do at this time in her life? And it's really interesting, and especially from a woman's perspective, because I can relate to this so much, where, and she's super candid, where, she talks about going on Lexapro and mental health. And then she talks about should I be having babies? Should I be married? Am I in the right place? And, I'm single, I don't have kids, and I'm happy, but then I'm should I have tried to pursue it more? But then I think it's really important to know that nothing is set in stone, right? That there's no such, one of my absolute favorite quotes of all time is there's two. So one is, I'm beyond your peripheral vision, so you might want to turn your head. And I love that quote so much because it basically says I'm not the norm. I do things my way. I do things the way that are on my path. And don't just look what's right in front of you. I'm beyond your peripheral vision, right? I'm so special that you have to turn your head for me. And I love that. And then another quote, it's not really a quote, but it's basically that, there are over 7 billion people in this world. 7 billion people. If you don't realize how much a billion is, go look up how people compare rice, and they compare what a million in rice looks like compared to a billion. I don't think people can actually wrap their brain around. I don't think people can really comprehend just how much a billion is. And that's a lot of people. And there's only one of us, one of you, one of me, one of you in your genetic makeup. Do you know how powerful that is, that there's only one of you on the entire planet? That is so powerful. So why would you ever want to be like someone else when there's only one of you? And I just think that, people are oh, sorry, I keep looking because I have to talk. Wait, I actually should do this. Hold on. I like when I give you guys kind of behind the sneak peek. Okay. See how I have to do this. And I think it's just really, really important, and I feel like she put out that song, and maybe that's the case. Maybe she was ready for something more serious, and he wasn't ready yet. And she was I want to break up. And I think that it happens a lot, right? Where you may feel, and I do think when people say it just didn't work out, I think that that's a perfect example of sometimes it just doesn't work out because you don't want the same things, you're not on the same page, and there's no animosity. Sometimes I think that we were conditioned to think that we, just because something ends, it's contentious. And a lot of times that's not it at all. Sometimes things end just because life and where you are in your life can be completely different than where the other person is in their life. And sometimes what you're passionate about or something that you feel strongly about isn't what they feel strongly about. And that's just kind of what it is, And I think it's one of those things where it's okay to say, hey, I want more for myself. And I think a lot of people feel if they're not where they think they should be, then they need to do something else. And you need to do what feels right for you. and you always need to make sure that like your cup is being filled. And so, oh, by the way, did you see that Kelsey is also headlining Barefoot? So so far it's Eric Church, Post Malone, Kelsea Ballerini. I know. Those are 3 good ones. I just keep looking because I don't want to miss. I don't want to get in trouble. Also, another thing that I observed that I love is that the Chiefs are on a bye week. So Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift have been out and about in New York, and they were spotted this week, and they were leaving a restaurant, and Travis was carrying a to-go bag. And I was like, this is so hilarious that he's carrying a to-go bag. And I think it shows that they were raised like very normal and very middle class. They go to a restaurant, they have leftovers, and they were like, yeah, we're not going to throw this away. I want a to-go bag. And then I'm like, what did he, because the Polo Bar where they were is known for their burgers. I'm like, a burger is kind of a weird thing to heat up and eat after the fact. You know what I mean? But like spaghetti, like if you get a really good pasta and then you have it left over the next day, like delicious. And obviously you have something like a chip or like a chip. Like what if they ordered like spinach artichoke dip? And he's like, I want this. And then people, I talked about it on my Instagram, and people were like, I bet you it's dessert. I bet you they were so full. And they're like, we want to take chocolate cake and tiramisu home, which again is also awesome because I think like, you know, she's a billionaire. Like she could have 4 private chefs, and are they just like sitting at home, like eating leftovers? Like, I just think that's like very, very cool. All right, hang tight. I got to talk. You're going to see a little behind the scenes. Okay. 92.5 WXTU, Philly's country station. Hi, it's Nicole, by the way. I'm recording a YouTube video. It's called In Studio Yap. And so we have a YouTube page that we're really into right now. So if you just go to YouTube, you type in, 92.5 XTU. And I do these things called In Studio Yap, where basically I talk for like 10, 11 minutes just when the songs are playing. And I kind of talk about like random stuff. And so I was talking about the new Kelsea Ballerini song, which was so good. It's called I Sit in Parks. It came out today. And she's releasing next Friday like a mini EP. It's like a mini album with 6 songs. And the song that she put out today is really good. It's basically like, am I in the right place? And, she talks about like not being married, not having kids. She talks about taking her Lexapro. And she wrote and produced it herself. And I don't think Kelsea Ballerini gets enough credit for that, where she literally writes her own music. There's a lot of artists that don't do that. So shout out to her. And it was just announced that she's going to be the 3rd headliner for the Barefoot Country Music Festival this June in Wildwood. So far it's Post, Kelsey, and Eric Church. What a lineup. It is so good. Okay, have a fantastic weekend. Obviously, no Eagles until Monday night. I know, we'll have a stress-free weekend, but then we can be stressed together on Monday. However, I will say that there's still a lot of fall stuff to do this weekend, so look for that. Maybe go to like Lynn Villa, get some apples, get some pumpkins. Maybe you want to decorate for Christmas. I think it's too early, but it sparks joy, and I'm all about joy here. And also next week, we still have a bunch of chances for you to head to the Sphere in Las Vegas to see Zach Brown Band and Caroline Jones. That starts back up Monday morning, 9 a.m. with the Andy Summer Show. Have a great weekend. Mwah! So see how like I was doing both, So anyway, I just think it's really funny that there are like some of my friends are just not leftover people, but I love a leftover. I think a leftover is so fun because I don't know. I just think when you bring out a dish and then you're like taking a couple, like I had a wrap and it was really good, but I didn't finish it. So I'm like, well, I'm not throwing this rest of this wrap away. I'm going to take it. And now like, I'm excited. I'm going to go home and I'm going to eat my wrap for din, the other half of the wrap. I could even save it until tomorrow. Some stuff's hard. Like you can't really heat up French fries. Now you kind of could put them in the oven or like the toaster oven, but that's also like kind of annoying. You know what I mean? Where it's like who wants, and pizza could be hard because if it's like room temperature pizza, you can kind of like have it, you can heat it up in the oven, but I think pizza is a little hard. Sandwiches are hard too. I had a turkey Reuben and I try to heat it up and it's weird because like the coleslaw is supposed to be cold. It's like Chipotle, like heating up Chipotle, even though like a cold burrito can be good sometimes, but like I get guacamole on it. And so, you really got to get the guacamole on the side, because like if you heat up your burrito bowl the next day and there's guacamole in it, then you're eating hot guacamole and that's weird. You know what I mean? Or like if there's lettuce in it, then it's like hot wilted lettuce, even though like a hot lettuce salad, I think was that cabbage? That my Nana and Auntie made, where it was like, I think it's lettuce. I think it's like warm lettuce with like a bacon dressing. Anyway, I digress. 2 random things to talk about. I have to get better at putting these videos up. So I wanted to do one today, and I just thought the Kelsey thing was really good, and I want to talk about the takeout menu. So enjoy. Have a great rest of your day. Aww.